See? Should hop on GTA. It'll do some grinding.
A single day can change everything. One fall day in 1940, we knew Britain was impregnable, protected by the sea, and defended by brave souls on every clifftop.
I actually used to get down on this shit quite a bit, but never really had a squad to play with. I was always a lone wolf on here.
Into the heart of the nation. When the blockade began in 1948,
what the fuck?
We
Someone
thought
called
the
me
people
up
of
on
West
Facebook?
Berlin would be safe.
Yo,
The
whatever.
Soviets had other ideas. One December day is all it took for the fragile peace to shatter. And once again, the streets were filled with war and death. In 1962, we thought the Cuban Missile Crisis was a bluff. It was bravado, playground bullies flexing their muscles. No one would ever push the button. Then one day in October that year, someone did push it. An island paradise was turned into the epicenter of all-out thermonuclear war, threatening our very existence. These are our stories. Now, it's your turn.
Welcome to Mercenaries. Mercenaries introduces a new story campaign, a unique tech tree full of hybrid vehicles, refreshed maps, and much more. I want to check out the story. Yeah, I thought, U.S. tanks would be like the best on here, but I guess the best are like the Japanese tanks. That's what like everyone that joins my stream says is go Japanese all the way. Start at the beginning and do them all. Defend area, defeat all German forces. Let's do this.
Not every American tank built was destined for the U.S. Army. Some were transported through the Persian Corridor into the Soviet Union. From the steelworks of Detroit, straight to the Eastern Front. And it wasn't just tanks that wound up in the Soviet Union. The Americans sent experienced combatants, too. Colonel Peters had joined the Soviet advance into Romania. With the news spreading that a second front had opened up in France, both sides knew this was a critical turning point in the war.
starts now. How are you going to start training?
From his position on the hill, Peters and his Soviet crew were about to get their first taste of action as a joint force. The Germans had launched a preemptive strike on the Russian armor.
bulge out of here.
he didn't keep his Sherman moving, he'd end up a burning wreck.
Motherfuckers are nice. It's not like how less armor they have. Like, they don't have shit from
Penetration. Enemy vehicle on fire. He's gone. Find us another target. I see one of them. Looks like that one went right through. Our track's been hit. Look out, enemy gun. That one drilled straight through. Loaded and ready. Main gun's been hit. You can still fire.
For Peters and his Russian Sherman crew, their role in the war was over. They had fallen as brothers in armor.
Damn. Oh, I actually get silver and shit for this. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out Wormwood. Them motherfuckers look dope.
Not every American tank built was destined for the U.S. Army. Some were transported through the Persian Corridor into the Soviet Union. From the steelworks of Detroit, straight to the Eastern Front. And it wasn't just tanks that wound up in the Soviet Union. The Americans sent experienced combatants, too. Colonel Peters had joined the Soviet advance into Romania. With the news spreading that a second front had opened up in France, both sides knew this was a critical turning point in the war.
Kaboom!
Peters Peters and his Soviet crew were about to get their first taste of action as a joint force. The Germans had launched a preemptive strike on the Russian armor.
Oh yeah, this tank got some motherfucking firepower. Let's go.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
The land.
Got him. That one drilled straight through.
What the fuck is this? Look at this motherfucker.
Looks like that one went right through. Let it rip.
Roll out.
Enemy exposed.
I'm gonna have to hell lead that one. Boosh!
Looks like that one went right through. Ready to fire. They found us. Penetration. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Peters knew if he didn't keep his Sherman moving, he'd end up a burning wreck.
I want this motherfucker.
I see one of them. The enemy knows our location. Looks like that one went right through.
Fucking reload speed is ridiculous. Let's go.
Got him. Looks like that one went right through. Got him.
Damn.
Enemy spotted. Enemy's looking right at us. That one ricocheted. That one drilled straight through.
Oh shit. Oh.
They hit one of our tracks.
Oh fuck.
Looks like that one went right through.
For Peters and his Russian Sherman crew, their role in the war was over. They had fallen as brothers in armor.
God damn. At least I'm getting all kinds of cool shit for it. It's called the Wormwood. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. It's not showing me what country it is. Oh, it looks like an American tank. Motherfucking sick. try it again. I got this shit. I just can't be going all out here willy-nilly style. Gotta strategize.
Not every American tank built was destined for the U.S. Army. Some were transported through the Persian corridor into the Soviet Union. From the steelworks of Detroit, straight to the Eastern Front. And it...
What up? Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that sub for me.
The Germans had launched a preemptive strike on the Russian armor.
Boosh. Next. Boosh. Next. Damn, stop up. That motherfucker dead in his tracks. Speedy little motherfucker. Alright.
Loaded and ready.
I am not liking the steering on here though. The steering is hella weird. It's all inverted. Oh shit. I wanted to check that out too, but I heard the graphics weren't all that on it. Nah, yeah, hop in my stream real quick. You see this shit I'm doing? It's co-op. You can play all like 9 story mode missions together. What, on Armored Warfare? Yeah, it looks like it's a little arcadey, like, you know what I'm saying?
He'd end up a burning wreck.
Yeah, it seems a little arcadey, but this shit's pretty badass.
Commander just went down.
I like this. Last round, take some cover over here in the village. Should catch up with the squad too. To fight as a team. Oh shit! That was a good hit. Can't quite see him, but he gone. I can barely hear you at all, bro. You sound like you 1,000 miles away. Oh. What up? Oh yeah, yeah, it's free to play.
He's gone.
Oh, no shit. Yeah. Oh shit. The only reason I got on this World of Tanks because yeah, I was watching. I heard they dropped this mercenary shit, and I heard that these mercenary tanks are supposed to be badass. But yeah, I've been wanting to try out that armor warfare. I've only heard of like what people said about it. I haven't got to check it out for myself. No, there's over 500 some tanks on here. Yeah, they go up to, from old school all the way up to modern, like, all depending on which country you pick. Like, they have, what is it? I want to say 20 different countries. Like, and each country has, like, 30 tanks in it. But yeah, I rock an American artillery tank, but whenever it comes to like fast ground combat, I rock my Japanese tank. We don't.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
We don't have it.
They've spotted us. Looks like that one went right through.
With the German tanks routed, Peters looked at his Sherman crew with pride. They had passed their first test admirably.
Hell yeah!
Chop out
Yeah,
another wing.
because I've been wanting. This is kind of hard by myself. I want someone to play these story mode missions with, and you unlock XP and money to buy multiplayer shits. You know what I'm saying? They're worth playing. Yeah, I just messaged one of my homeboys on Facebook because he doesn't have Plus, so he ain't been playing. I'm like, yo, this World of Tanks is 100% free. You don't need Plus to play it. I've been, wanting to try that War Thunder, but I want to try the battleships, and I heard they haven't added the battleships to PS4 yet. Battleships are only on P3 or on the PC. Yeah. Yeah, I fucking want to try that shit out too. That fucking looks dope. See, like I said, I'm from Missouri, and one of the biggest warships during World War II was the Missouri. I want to create a badass Missouri warship. Yeah, it was like one of the biggest ones during like Port Harbor, shit like that, was the Missouri. I still don't know why they named it that, though. I want to research and see why they named it the Missouri. I don't know which story to do next. There's so yeah, so there's 8. There's 8 story missions on here. Which is still pretty badass. Yeah, it's like 60 something gigs. Hop in my stream real quick. I'll show you the tanks you can get. Just, let me know when you're watching. See, they'll probably have that little short tutorial shit, but then there's a bigger download. There's a huge one after that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 15. Yeah, just throw the shit in rest mode. It took me about 2 hours in rest mode. That's how I download a lot of my games. It's like I'll download them the night before. Like every time I try to get off the PlayStation, I look through the store. Like, is there anything I want to play tomorrow? Like, then just throw the shit in rest mode and pass out. Alright, you're in here? Alright, I'm on American Tanks right now. Uh, Up towards the top is gonna be like your artillery tanks. Like, if you like playing the sniper role, these would be good tanks for you. And yeah, they go all the way up to tier 10. And so there's probably about 500 tanks on here. Then you got your tank destroyers, which are pretty good sniper tanks, but they have like zero defense. Like if you get hit, you're done. But yeah, if you're a heavy, they do. It's called right down here. It's called the Pershing or something like that. Yeah, it's more, or the T-20. The T-20 is like an Abrams. But yeah, then down toward, yeah, but isn't Abrams a heavy tank? I'm not quite sure, because yeah, they got oh no, these, yeah, back at the start, this is where you start off as, yeah, like the light shit. Yeah, you gotta work your way towards, like, the newer area. Yeah, modern tank, yeah, yeah, it's a little newer tanks to it. Yeah. But if you're kind of into the Abrams, you would want the, yeah. See here, I'm looking at the Panzers right. Yeah, here's a Tiger. Yeah, here's a Tiger I'm looking at. Yeah, they have the Panzers, the Tigers. I haven't really done much with the German tanks. I don't know. See, down here. Oh shit! Hold on, let me go back. German. Yeah. See, these are like tier 10 tanks too. All right. 51. Yeah. Oh no! I'll show you the one that I'm working towards. That, oh damn, that one the Moss. That, yeah, that's all the way up to 100. Look at that motherfucker. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, see, I'm going with the, because I like the artillery myself. Like I like staying back in the backfield. But yeah, see, I'm down here. I'm going with the next one I'm gonna get is this IO tank, survivability 48, which isn't too bad. Firepower 32, and you can upgrade those also. You can upgrade everything. But yeah, I'm working for this Type 5 Heavy right here. This motherfucker, survivability 97, firepower 52. That's gonna, man, it's gonna be some shit. But yeah, Britain has some pretty good tanks too. I went with Britain for light tanks. Like the light tanks I use, I go with the Britain tanks. See, they have the Stewarts, and yeah, in this one it's the Stewarts, and they switch to the M7 right here, and then it's the T21. Yeah, then they go. Let me see what the last one is. It's a T57, which it does look pretty badass. That's a, but yeah, firepower 48, survivability 67 or 64. Uh, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. See, I don't know. I don't really run light tanks that much. Oh yeah, yeah. Man, no shit. Cause yeah, they just dropped. Where they at? Yeah, these mercenary tanks right here. Uh, yeah, and it all takes gold. These mercenary tanks take gold, which is gay as hell. So they actually want you to spend some money on it. Ooh, that big top looks pretty dope. That motherfucker's pretty quick. 29 mobility. Tursk. Uh, Damn, look at this. It's fuck, I'm sitting on it right now. The Tusk. It's called the Tusk. Yeah. Firepower 43. Oh, it'll do some damage. Let's see, yeah, these are all new tanks they added too that take gold. The hell is it? This motherfucker got two guns on it. It looks like he doesn't do shit though. Damn, what the hell is this? Look at this motherfucker. Damn, this motherfucker looks pretty dope. Yeah, man. Damn, they got a fuck ton of these things. Holy shit. That shark looks dope. Oh, it's a Swedish tank? That's crazy. Oh, that's fucking dope looking. You'll. What the hell? I actually just bought that tank for nothing. Oh, what the hell did they just give me? That ain't the same tank. What the fuck? Man, that motherfucker looks sick though with the tiger on the side. Oh man. But yeah, see, here's what I'm rocking. I got this Tier 7 artillery. It's American. Then I got my medium take as this Britain one. Then I have a British tank destroyer. Then I have, yeah, whenever it comes to light tanks, I like this German one. It has that burst cannon to it, so it hits them with like 6 shots, like, brah. Yeah. Yeah. Thing's pretty badass. And then I got my Russian one over here. This Russian tank's pretty badass. Then yeah, this is the one I'm trying to rank up, this Type 95. I gotta keep ranking this up to get to my next tank. See, yeah, you can have up to, what is it, 6 or 7 different tanks, like, without buying. I've never bought anything for this game, and I can have, like, 6 tanks. 6, 7 tanks. Yeah, pretty dope. It's nuts. I've met motherfuckers that's in tier 10 tanks and they want me to play with them. And it's like, I cannot hang in the tier 10 lobby. I'm trying to get there. But nah, ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen for a while.
With the RAF and the Royal Navy pinned down, Germany had successfully established a foothold in the last remaining resistance in Western Europe, Great Britain. Now, London was under siege and facing its darkest hour. Hitler was banking on the city being bombed into submission, breaking the British resolve once and Edwards had been ordered to halt the German advance. He was the last line of London's defense.
Tanks.
Through gritted teeth, Edwards steered his tank towards the point where the German forces had been concentrating.
Yeah, see, it's like a mix between like Call of Duty, Fortnite, like, because you only get one life. Yeah, you should. Whenever you see that yellow marker, like, there's 3 different color hit markers on here.
Wave
Whenever you see the orange hit marker, that means you can disable. Yeah, that's where you want to see it. If you're still watching, yeah, I'm hitting him in that orange. Like, red will damage him, but you want to look for that orange marker, because that means you penetrate. Yeah. See, I just shot right through that motherfucker. Oh shit, I'm getting tore up. Or, yeah, right in the front, like, there's spots right in the front that are really weak. Yeah, they hit me so fierce. And I ain't got no repair kit on me.
Incoming artillery. The call broke across the radio. The British had to fall back to avoid the deadly
So what my cousin used to do was work on tanks over in Iraq and shit. He was a mechanic over there working on tanks. So fucking that must have been badass, but scary as fuck at the same time. Come on, reload. Oh, I didn't do shit to him. Oh fuck.
Edward's tank fought valiantly, but could not stem the German advance. London would fall in a matter of hours.
Yeah, it was that
Now,
one from
nothing
the
could stop
from
Hitler's
behind
plan
me.
to conquer
got me.
Britain and unite the rest of Europe under his rule. The war
Shit's crazy. And pretty fun online too, like, but you gotta play as a team online, like literally you gotta stick to a group. Oh, that's the only tank they're gonna give me for this mission too. That's crazy. That means I gotta do better. Alright. Yeah, see, that's what the one thing about this guy. Yeah, you gotta kick it in the backfield. I'm so used to running up, trying to destroy everything.
Edwards had been ordered to halt the German advance. He was the last line of London's defense.
Right back here, try to get some covers. Oh shit.
Through gritted teeth, Edward steered his tank towards the point where the German forces had been concentrating.
Yeah, hit him right there on top. Oh,
Wave after wave, the German tanks kept coming.
oh shit. God, yeah, look at this.
Enemies are capturing our base. Looks like that one went straight through. Locked and loaded. Enemies in our base.
Oh my god, the steering on here is so good. Just rolled straight up to me.
Incoming artillery.
Dumbass.
The call broke across the radio. The British had to fall back to avoid the deadly hailstorm.
They're trying to capture our base.
Oh shit,
Releasing gas.
that's why.
Edward's tank fought valiantly, but could not stem the German advance. London would fall in a matter of hours. Now, nothing could stop Hitler's plan to conquer Britain and unite the rest of Europe under his rule.
Damn. Yeah, this shit is crazy. Got whooped on again. Goddamn hard ass story missions. I thought this shit was gonna be easy. I was wrong.
Edwards had been ordered to halt the German advance. He was the last line of London's defense.
They got the wrong motherfucker.
Through gritted teeth, Edwards steered his tank towards the point where the German forces had been concentrating.
Trying to capture our base.
Wave after wave, the German tanks kept coming.
Shit behind us. Oh. Start to turn around.
Incoming artillery. The call broke across the radio. The British had to fall back to avoid the deadly hailstorm.
Ready to fire. They destroyed one of our tanks.
Oh shit.
Edwards' tank fought valiantly, but could not stem the German advance. London would fall in a matter of hours. Now, nothing could stop Hitler's plan to conquer Britain and unite the rest of Europe under his rule. The war was over. Germany.
Shit is nuts.
Failure wasn't an option. The fate of Berlin rested on Thompson's shoulders. Thompson studied the map. The road into Berlin had to be cleared and secured.
I see one. They've spotted us. Looks like that one went right through. It's gotta hurt.
This was it. Once the shooting started, there would be no turning back for Thompson and his men.
Slowly just driving through the streets of Birmingham. Fuck you, Scott.
Enemy knows our
Oh.
location. Enemy in sight. Frag hit. Loaded and ready. Enemy exposed. That one drilled
Ooh,
straight
got him
through.
through the bridge.
Reloading. We pierced their armor.
Reload the boat.
Enemy vehicle destroyed. That one drilled straight through.
Oh, I see now down. That boy trying to run. Mad.
Reloading.
I was gonna get up to the top of this hill. Damn, my team way the fuck back there. I can't see shit.
They found us.
There we go. Oh, that motherfucker cooking it.
Penetration.
Oh, got him. Nice. motherfucker booking it.
Look out, enemy spotted. He's loaded. Zero penetration. Enemy exposed.
Shit.
That one drilled straight through.
I got one more.
Friendly vehicle destroyed. They found us. Vehicles destroyed. We've torched them.
Nice.
Ready to fire. Just dig them. Right off.
Damn, I didn't do nothing to him.
Good. It will
What's
through.
going on here?
That got him.
I'm doing just really.
Enemy's got us in their sight. The driver's been hit. Can't move very fast. We lost an ally.
Oh, we got one.
The enemy knows our location. Just take them.
Dude, I ain't doing shit to that team.
Loaded and ready. Penetration.
I hit him a little.
Enemy brutal.
There we go. One more. Ooh. Got him.
We lost a friendly vehicle. They found us. We've reached the enemy base.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
We're 86.
Yeah, got destroyed. But yeah, alright, yeah, I'm gonna hop